hivi na hivyo, hivi naipeleka hivi na hivyo, hivi na hivyo, hivi na hivyo, hivi. Nina vitu mbili na detongele, tangu bei pande sijali gathe. Nina shida zangu usiniongeze, pambana tu kivyako akiniondoke. Dishi sio yako ushanza amen. Nilikuwa nimesota, nilikuwa na plan. Tukibai mambo clean na surua ya 10. Sahini nyama kilo imekwa kaya. Simi upita nao hivi na hivyo, chini kienda hivi lazima irudi hivyo. Coca-Cola toto kada chizi kada nipeleka hivi na hivyo, kila kitu speedy na simple hivi na hivyo.
Yes, welcome my people, karibuni sana to yet another beautiful conversation right here on the Black Hot Fire Network radio station.
Yes, fast.
Yes, I have not even actually given the name.
Yeah.
You see, I'm saying yet another conversation because I'm like, yeah, hold up, I almost say the Pan-African Bliss. But karibuni sana family, this is the first show of the Pan-African Diary. Yes, I know it is new and we're doing this every single Friday. We have a joint show with Katty, and this is just regarding everything we talk about politically, what is affecting Africa, and this shall be brought to you every single Friday onto your screens and onto your speakers. Karibuni sana, my name is Joby, and of course we got Katty in the building.
Yes, what's up beautiful people, karibuni sana. This is a new political show in the building. I think we should call it Girls Who Understands Politics.
That is you.
Yeah,
That is you.
Girls Who Understands Politics. But anyway family, karibuni sana once again on this new amazing show that has just landed. We are just about to bring the firework. But anyway, karibuni sana once again. My name is Katty. Enjoy the show and keep it interactive. We are about to discuss different things that are happening in the beautiful continent of Africa, and this is why the show is named Pan-African Diary. Pan-African Bliss combined with the African Diary, so it is the Pan-African Diary show. And that's it.
Exactly. You heard it from Katty, and this shall be happening every Friday once again. And we hope you guys are gonna be, conversative and of course engaging for 2 hours. We're right here, and of course, karibuni sana. Feel welcomed. Feel free to also conversate with us. Subscribe in case you're new right here. And my name is Joby once again. 47 minutes past 12 p.m. right in the 258. It's on a Friday, and of course, it's a good Friday. It's been an amazing week. Personally, I'm grateful. I don't know about you, Katty.
I'm grateful, Manze. This week has been good.
Yeah.
I can't complain, and I'm so happy it's already a weekend.
Manze,
yeah.
Everyone is happy, Manze. I don't know if you're not happy, why you're not happy. But karibuni sana. This is the Black Hot Fire Network
Kama
radio
uyuko
station.
happy, uko na zako.
Uko na mashida zako, na usitulete tafadhali. Tuondoke. This is Mandy playing right on the Black Hot Fire Network radio station. The first jam was Please. The second jam is Even na Even, and of course I'll be playing Uko, because those are the phone calls ringing today. Uko. I know. We shall be coming back with the quote of the day, and of course as we start with our news and updates of the day, we shall be talking about Kenya, the High Court, or the Kenyan court, allowing actually genetically modified food to be running or to be planted, to be contributed in our country. They're saying they're not seeing any harm. They have done actually research. There's no harm that actually most of the people that keep on saying like
and
Raila
of
Odinga.
course, what do you expect? They wouldn't see any harm. So that's them.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that. We shall be talking also about Kenya, lifting the logging, banning the logging of trees, and they say that this actually happened in 2018, and Uhuru Kenyatta actually was more advocating on planting of trees, which we've not actually seen happening for the 10 terms he's been, in the presidential seat. But we shall be talking much more on that and what is going on also in Liberia, because the president has not yet been announced, but the international observers have something to say. Karibuni sana, feel free to engage with us, and of course let us know unatusikizia kutoka maeneo gani. The Black Hot Fire Network radio station, media of the 21st century. Karibuni sana. Yes, and my quote of the day, and of course a quote to you guys as you get into the weekend, is about boundaries, and it says setting boundaries is a practice of self-love. You deserve to preserve your peace of mind, remove things and people in your life that no longer serve you at your best interest. That is about boundaries.
My quote of the day says, failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of success. Failure is not the opposite of success, but it is part of success.
kuna malika wewe ni stola wananudhi ufike teketeke uko kwani ofisi nilihepa hapo kendo 4 nilikuwa nimezuba ningebaki what 4 kale kafilika kuzitoka ni kweso ni kubana kuna shots yeni hiyo text ya uko hesabu ni mkisaya kona nani wapi mko wangapi kwanza nibezi na kaja na nahitaji dongapi na ka.
Yes, I love me some Mandy manze. I really love Mandy for free. Like napenda tu dem to characters zake, songs. They're just dope and I just love it personally. But karibuni sana, I see Samuel in the building and everyone who's with us on TikTok. Unaweza piga shout out kwa watu wako nasi TikTok.
Yeah, shout out to Emmanuel in the building. I see Sergey Sasha in the building is saying hi ladies. Hi to you too, Sergey Sasha. I see Emmanuel is saying Saseni poa sana and thank you very much for joining us. I also see we have somebody like Susan Dota in the building. We have Mr. Blackout Fire with us right here, and also Sergey Sasha is with us right here. So karibuni sana once again to all those who are joining us, and in case this is your first time right here, please make sure you follow the host. Don't go like that without following the host. But I see Emmanuel is saying Nyeri Eco Live Kabisa. Thank you very much from Nyeri County, and to all those who are just listening to us.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and of course welcome to the Blackout Fire Network radio station. This is the Pan-African Diary to those who are just tuning in for the first time, and our amazing back-to-back listeners and streamers. I know you're wondering, where is Joby's show? I'm supposed to be live right now with the Pan-African Bliss, but I sat down and we had that discussion with Katty. We don't have actually a show, and I love the way she debates actually on her shows. Personally, I do enjoy listening to her shows. The fire is just always firing, but I feel like, you know, us firing together is gonna bring much more of the bomb.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
gonna make things explode, you know. But anyway, Karibuni, I see someone in the video say morning, good morning to you too, good afternoon from us. You're saying that what's the Giro saying? I like her voice. Okay, what is that? The girl. Oh, the girl. Hey, where you're right in Jamaican terms there.
You're always typing in those accents. He thinks we understand some of those.
You don't do that to the girl. You don't do that to the girl, man. Come easy, come slowly. But anyway, yeah, she's asking Uko. Uko means where are you? Literally, the reason why I'm playing that is because those are the phone calls people are getting late, especially during the weekend. People is calling you, where are you at? Are you pulling up or you coming over? What's going on? But anyway, back away from the entertainment industry to serious matters, to girls who understand politics. We started with the international observers. Of course, this week on 10th, that was on Tuesday, we had elections that did happen in Liberia. And before that, we had George Weah saying that he's going to vie for another presidential term. And personally, I was like, no. We've seen Kagame also. We discussed this a few weeks ago. We saw Kagame coming out and saying that he's also seeking for another presidential term in 2024. And that the Rwandese agree with him. You know, that they vow, they actually support him. But we know that the Rwandese actually do not even have any say, freedom of speech, literally in their country.
You know, I'm looking for how long George Weah has been the president of Liberia, and he has been serving office since 2018. So that's a couple of we are 2013. That's 5 years, and he's seeking for a second term, of which. It's logic because 5 years, you know, it's like the same thing that happens in Kenya. The same thing that happened in Kenya when Uhuru was the president. And I think it's logic, or we would expect that to happen. But you know, guys, we look at the development. You look at what has he done for the country. You know, you have been the president for the longest time, but what have you done for us? You know, and sometimes I feel like you know, when we're comparing governments right here in the 254, right now comparing Ruto's government and Uhuru's government, I would say it's all the same, but I'd rather go back to Uhuru's era. You know, we saw Uhuru raising the fuel, but it was not this expensive, you know. But also people would argue like this, you know, times are changing and we are at a different era, and this is why we have crisis with the fuel and EPRA and everything. We're importing fuel, but why is the economy going this so high?
Hiked up.
Hiked up. And the same thing is happening in Liberia. So I'm just waiting to see who is going to be announced as the president. And also you talked about Kagame of Rwanda. You know what Kagame had said? Let me tell you something. Kagame had said, I'm not going to vie for presidency in the next election. I'm going to quit and become a journalist.
Wow.
Yes.
You got jokes. You got
I'm
jokes.
not joking. This is
No,
what
like
he
that's
said.
what I'm saying. The sarcasm in it is like he's got jokes. You know, like he got jokes. Like, you know,
This
that's
is
crazy.
what he said, and he actually said it in a public place. I wish I can pull up this video where he said that. But yes, right now we are seeing him saying that, you know, I'll vie for presidency. I'm like, what changed? What changed? Now you have a change in career. You know, I thought you're going to retire and become a journalist. Now what has changed? Or you're not so willing to talk about now the new ruling government, or what has changed?
He's gonna become a journalist because he cannot. He doesn't allow people of his country to have a freedom of speech. So he wants to report to us, you know, him being a puppet, how he's been a puppet, how Rwanda has developed. Come on, be better. But on the Liberia situation, actually, I was when you speak about development of literally the African continent, we're seeing right now the struggles Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso are facing because of you know, trying to chase away France, our colonies, which has been a problem. It's still a debate going on because we do not have the strength, the weapons, as much as we can see Russia standing with us. It's been so hard, Africa, literally, Africans taking back their continent. I was trying to refer this, I don't know, I think it was on during this week, and I discussed it also on my show, of this TikToker in Angola who was arrested because of she didn't actually abuse the president. She just said that the Angola lacks proper housing, Angola lacks proper schools, Angola lacks proper medication, access of medication, basically what the continent gets to face.
And you know, now that sounds like mocking to the president.
Exactly.
You know, it's just like saying, you know, we have slums in Kibra, of which it's fact.
And it's not even mocking, it is fact.
Yeah, you know, now the government takes this as mocking, but for a fact, we have Kibra slums. We have slums in Kenya. What do you mean? So when I come here and report about slums in Kibra, this means that I'm mocking the president or the government. We have, for a fact, we have slums in Kibra. We have been having for the longest time. So I'm wondering, you know, I hate the fact that in Africa, you wouldn't even, in TikTok, you know, this is how you get to know that in some countries in Africa, we don't have freedom of speech. Just go to Rwanda or just go to TikTok. Yes, just go to the streets of TikTok. Tell me, will you see Rwandese people? No, that's how you know we don't have freedom of speech in that country. Go to now a different okay, just TikTok, and look for people like you know, you find different people in TikTok, and you find Ugandans, you find Tanzanians, but you'll never find Rwandese people. You'll never find people like from the Swazi. You'll never find people from Congo, but Congo is always being on the limelight. But nobody's talking about I am from Congo. Nobody.
It is crazy. So in Angola, we saw that lady was arrested as they get to the elections and everything. The president does not want to admit, and we pull up videos. If you guys were tuned in during this week, the shows. It was on Tuesday or Monday. I was speaking about the Angolan TikToker was arrested, and they said 6 months was less of her being actually in jail. So they actually extended it to 2 terms jail. You know, to 2 years in jail, which is crazy, because I'm just basically speaking out on behalf of majority of us who won't speak, and because I have numbers, you're scared that majority of the people will come and support me because it is true. That is what basically it is all about. It's the same way we've seen how Eric Omondi we know he has numbers, but every time he's gonna be arrested, as much as it is all political agenda, whatever he's pushing, he's gonna be arrested because he's trying to bring a message and enlighten people of the oppression going on in the continent, which is crazy. But in Liberia, what is happening? We've seen the international observers. They came out and they said that they actually congratulated Liberia on peaceful vote, and they're saying the international observers have praised Liberia for peaceful conduct of its presidential and parliamentary election held on Tuesday. 20 candidates contested the presidential race, and I think you've discussed this before. Why do we have so many candidates always?
Just to make sure that they are manipulating the votes and destroying the votes. It's always like this. Didn't you see the longer list we had on our presidential election? And I was like, hey, this is the first time we are having so many presidential candidates, and why is this? You know, some of these people are actually bought. You know, you have to pay 1 million Kenyan shillings for you to vie as a president in Kenya. So some of these people, you might find that these people are bought by maybe the ruling government just to make sure that there's distraction of votes, and also some of them are bought by the opposition to make sure that now the election doesn't go as
it's rigged. Exactly. So they're saying that 20 candidates contested the presidential race, including incumbent George Weah and his man rival Joseph Boakai. The community of West Africa states and the African Union congratulated both the government and the election commission for their organization of the polls. We know it's not Africa that organizes the election. It is the ones who are congratulating us. So stop it. They're saying, this is what they quote, and I say, overall, the mission notes that the Liberians were able to freely exercise their constitutional rights in peaceful elections. And mind you, before the election, they fueled there might be violence that might occur in some areas. And I discussed that, and I took it very heavily, where Africans were always actually it's always fueled and gassed violence even before it that's when happening. That's when we pick it, because it's every time we have election in Africa, the UN will come out and say, we congratulate you for this. So but in Kisumu, there might be violence that might occur, so we're going to have to evacuate our citizens from Kenya. Come on, why are you
or lock them indoors? It has been happening, and this is not even the first time. Like, it has been happening in all African countries where we are always going to the polls, or people are going to cast their votes, and you're mentally prepared. You're just told, cast your vote and go back home. Violence might erupt. And they always subject, the areas they know that now the strongholds are coming from.
Where ethnicity is taken like with a lot of heaviness. That is what they focus on.
They take the strongholds of these people. They say that, this is a stronghold for Raila. So this place, in case you're a Kikuyu, you need to vacate and go back to your place, because you don't belong here. And this is always the same thing that has been happening in all countries. We even saw in Nigeria, people are being told, make sure you vote and go back home, because violence might erupt.
It's crazy. But we've also seen the European Union also came and said that they were also happy. The European Union observers were also happy. And I'm like, the enemies are happy about the elections they have conducted. They know the perpetrators to be selected. Of course, they're happy because it's all a continuation of dictatorship. It has been successful, and the African people are too scared to fight for what is rightfully theirs. So that's why they are happy, because the oppression in Liberia will continue. But I see people on TikTok have a lot to say. Kindly go through the comments.
Let me go through the comments real quick and see what people have to say on that before we get to continue. So I see Emanuele, I see, Sajay Sasha is saying, big up Sana, today's network connection is perfect, thank you very much. And also she's saying, the question is why fuel in Uganda cheap in Uganda than Kenya, yet they are landlocked country. Yes, that is a very good question, by the way, Sasha, because in a country like Kenya, we're not landlocked. We have the sea, we have the ocean, we have like the maritime. But why are we always buying things expensive? You know, they always say the cost of transportation. But why is it so expensive while Uganda is a landlocked country? They don't have any maritime, but we're always getting things.
They don't want to do it, Sasha. They don't want to do it.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, Sasha is saying the economic crisis in Kenya is the way of the chat. Very true. And also, Mr. Blackotfire is saying, damn, forget Joby. Angola, don't you forget Joby. Angola economy is bigger than Kenya. Lol.
I say personally, I'm not buying it, Keith. I already told you, man. I'm not buying anything Google tells me. I'm not buying it. And then again,
I even don't care about the economy. As long as we are suffering as Africans, I don't care about the economy because we are all suffering the same.
Exactly.
You know, if you go to Angola, people are complaining about everything. Economic wars. They are everywhere in Africa. So we are suffering the same. As long as it is in Africa and we are all suffering in Africa, I don't care about that. But anyway, I see Brigadier Yaga is saying Kibra slums is a project for the UN, and that's for a fact. And you know, the first thing or the worst thing is that the government are never going to mend the slums because they know this is a source of income for them.
It's a business.
It's a business for them, and the reason they keep the slums the way they are is to make sure that they are earning money from that. But I also say, Mr. Black of Hotfire is saying,
I mean, they do. Just to add on what you said, it being a business. This is why we have so many Mulika Mwizi electricity, because it's them actually doing it, and they have their foremen who are actually also doing that job for them. Water pipes, illegal water pipes are always connected in from different sources. It's just super crazy. So it's a business. We understand why, because the slums utapata sijui maji sijui natoka wapi, maji natoka wapi, and it's all people have to buy it. If you don't buy it, we've seen women actually having to trade sex with water. Crazy.
So I also see Kid is saying you don't see Rwanda on no social media at all, Katie.
Wallahi.
Okay, wallahi, yeah, this is a very true. It's happening, my guys. I don't even know if these people own cell phones. I don't know. I'm not
Probably.
sure. I'm not sure, but I need to confirm that once I land in Rwanda. But I also see Kid is saying exactly 100% Joby. You can influence the people against the puppets, and they will not allow.
True.
Brigadier Yaga is saying international observers are puppets.
True.
They are not actually puppets. These people are the ones controlling the elections.
They are puppets, Katie.
The puppets of the Europeans, but almost, you know, it is the CIA. What do you think that the international observers are? They are the CIA. These are the CIA.
Puppets too.
Yeah, they are just
controlled. You're controlled to go do a mission or complete a mission in an African continent where your fellow puppets who you order have to obey you.
But tell me why a country like Kenya, we are buying independent electoral commission servers from the Europeans. Why? This is our election, but why are we getting our servers from the Europeans? They were brought from the UK. Why?
Say it, kid.
Why?
Kid, say it, why?
Why? You know, and this is how you get to know this election is just rigged even before. And you know, before even the election was done, you remember people were being told go and take their voters card, and then we saw more than 50,000 people being who are dead, being on the register's card or on the register's number or the registered number of voters. You know, it is just crazy because why are you there and you're dead? And this is how you know the election is just rigged. But
crazy.
Also, I see Brigadier is saying Kenya is owned by Europe and blot. And also, Mr. Blackotfire is saying Europeans control all elections in Africa, especially Black Africa. But I see Mr. Blackotfire is saying exactly, Joby, 100% true. And also, you're saying exactly, Katie. It does not make sense how Uganda fuel is cheaper than Kenya. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. But I see Sergei Sasha is saying, but sio kama Kenya. I don't get that. But yes,
like fuel is cheap in Uganda, that's another compare Kenya and
Okay,
Uganda.
okay, yeah, yes, and also Kid is saying exactly, Katie. Africans are suffering the same. So true. Yeah, we are suffering the same. In Africa, we are suffering the same. Go to Ghana, go to Uganda, go to wherever. They are all suffering the same. You'll ask them what is the worst problem you have? You say the economy is too high, it's due inflation in our country. We are suffering the same as African people. If it's ugali flour, it's expensive. You know, they take advantage of the staple food.
Yep.
They take advantage of the staple food. Right now, I think in Kenya, the staple food is ugali. Every community eats ugali. We have the Luya who call it
Obusuma.
Yes, and also we have the Luo who eats it. We have the Kikuyu, and if it's based on tribalism, so they take advantage of that. They take advantage of the staple food and make sure that it's higher than it's supposed to be. So we are suffering the same as African people. But I see Mr. Blackotwa is saying, I can't believe you have to pay to live in the slums. Who owns this? Who owns a slum? I don't understand it.
It's them. It's an organization. How can you be able to change the slums in the next 10 years to an estate if it was not planned by you? How do you plan to intervene in other people's land if it's not you? Is going around about it. Like, it makes sense. Ruto kusema sijui in 10 years tutakuwa na estates. Mbona wamekuongelesha in the first place? Wamekuongelesha. As much as I know most of the people want to walk away from poverty, have they spoken to you?
No, even the problem, Job, look at it this way. These people, or the president is talking about 10 years to come. 10 years, who said you're going to be our leader? Okay, you're looking forward to extend your term to 10 years. We are not even on that. Let us look at it this way. These people are in the slums because they cannot afford lifestyle outside the slums.
Yep.
In the slums, this is where everything is cheap. Kuna adi sukaria 5 bob. Yes, there's kerosene. They use kerosene to cook. They use charcoal to cook. But outside the slums, people uses we have gas, we have cooking gas, we have other means of cooking. But now, tell me, so in the 10 years, we still have people in the slums because these people have not elevated. They have been there. They have raised generations over there. So tell me, in the next 10 years, how are you going to make sure that now these people are able to afford the lifestyle of those estates? That is the big question, because it doesn't make sense to me when you're telling me in the next 10 years, I'm going to make these slums estates. So how
propaganda?
How are these people living in these slums going to afford to pay the assets? Because we know the assets, they have security, it's a gated community.
You're talking about taxation again. And mind you, actually when you speak about taxation, yesterday there's this fool from the parliament who suggested actually Kenyans should come up with more ways of increasing tax. You see, this is what the Treasury did ask Kenyans to participate in proposing ways of increasing tax in the financial bill of 2024. That is basically how they're going to be raising tax. If you allow actually yourself to be, man, get your own land. Don't allow the government to build anything for you. They're going to own it, and they're going to treat you the way they want because they own it.
Our government got into the government, or the president got into the presidency seat by telling Kenyans, I'm going to facilitate you guys with a proper housing, of which, yes, he has started. He has started, and this proper housing, of course, it's going to be built. And of course, you guys, you are paying, and remember, these taxes are being paid by every Kenyan for proper housing. Yes,
of course,
we are paying for the proper housing, and these houses, they are houses we're never gonna get to live. And remember, these houses, okay, I even don't say it's bad from for people to pay rent in those houses. It's very okay. But now, why is the rent so high while we paid taxes for these houses? It doesn't make sense. If it was a fully government project, I would say it's okay for you to pay the like the big amount of money. But now, why are you charging more than 5,000 to live in a government or in a public?
Hustler nation, I tell you. It's a hustler nation.
It's a hustler
but
nation.
Anyway, as you go
I was
on,
going through the comments. Let me finish up. We have a lot of comments, but I see Sergei Sasha is saying, I agree with Safa, but Kenya and Nimbaya.
It is the same, baby
It
girl.
is the same. Go
It
to
is the
Ghana. Do you know what these people are facing? Go to South Africa.
Nigerians.
Look at Africans who are in South Africa.
Me, Nigeria is always my end goal.
Nigeria is the worst.
My end goal.
Nigeria is the worst. We have people swimming in the
And this is why you see we
sewage.
have outbreak of diphtheria. Yeah.
We have people swimming in the sewerages. But I say, Sasha is saying, you know the reason why Kenya will never grow economically is due to corruption. Yes, we are corrupt, but also due to bad leadership. Add this on your bucket list. We have bad leadership. Bad leadership is always the key to poverty in Africa.
True.
But I see, as Sergei is saying, like for example, I am looking forward to how the funds given to El Nino committee will spend it. What El Nino? You guys, we were told at what day or what time of the year will El Nino start? Has it started? Everybody is complaining about, we were told and funds were set aside for El Nino.
I think
they even bought motorboats in Nairobi. They bought motorboats. Can you imagine how insane our government is to buy motorboats for people's transportation during El Nino? Yet the El Nino is not here. We are being beaten by the
These are always false. I'll call them false flags. The way I've been learning that here, false flags. These are false flags. Personally, like I think we discussed this on Wednesday, and I said it might have been mentioned, but it might hit us because I call it the cause of effect, whereby they put the news outside here to prepare us so that in case anything happens, they shall not be held accountable because they told you so that you can prepare yourself. That is what I think Kenya is actually doing right now, and it might hit us when we literally barely expect it. Because say you see this, it's really hot. It's really extremely hot, and it's not supposed to be like this actually. It's really extremely hot, but anyway, we're gonna be seeing.
Yeah, as we continue, I also see Zales in the building is saying vile umerespond hapo kwa ugali na kiluya, and also I see Mr. Blackout Fire is saying exactly 100% Katie lol. I heard the Nigerian complaining about tribalism. Tribalism apparently I heard that it is everywhere, but it is so bad that we can't notice this is happening in Ghana, this is happening in Congo just because we don't understand their languages, but it is happening everywhere. It is happening everywhere. But I see Kiddy saying, great show idea, Joby and Katty. Thank you. And also I see Kiddy saying, exactly 100% Joby. Kid is also saying exactly 100% Katty. Why is it so high? Because they want to keep it so high. But I see Kid is saying the people aren't corrupt. The government is set up by the Europeans, and that is for a fact. But anyway, as we get to continue, do let us know what you think about it as we continue with our show for today, and also as we get to interact on more and we get to dive in these politics, because we want to talk about the real thing, the real deal.
What did our Kenyan government say? what did
Keep calm.
The rains
Delay is normal. Rains are coming. Weatherman tells impatient Kenyans doubting El Nino prediction.
And then keep calm. I wonder with Africans, how are you waiting for a disaster? Cause ama ni mimi sielewi El Nino ni nini? Am I the one misunderstanding the term
the government already told us, so everybody is prepared for it.
Man, it will hit you, my friends, when you barely least expect it. Africans right now, we should understand how politics literally works. But anyway, whom's the mind?
Keep calm.
Keep
The
calm.
rains are coming. My people, keep calm. Just be hit by the sun and just keep calm.
It's coming. But I say Samuel is saying that no, yeah, you corrected that. It's a typo that did the Jamaican thing. But anyway, yeah, I get it. And just saying that yes, Africa taking it back, and I love watching it happen. Yeah, we'll have to see it happen.
Autocorrecting Jamaican is always speaking in Jamaican. Oh my god.
But yes, it is happening. Africa is being taken back, but too many people are asleep. I was trying to say yesterday, if you look at the gap, like when we joined Black Hot Fire in 2021, how we were learning information, it was through Dr. Mombi, Professor Lumumba, Joshua Maponga, and a few people who are woke, you know, and right here on the Black Hot Fire. But if you could look at majority of the people saw when you started learning and try reason with people, you're
what
like,
are you saying?
You're like, what? I can't reason with you.
Yeah.
But right now, if you look at actually the gap and the number, it has grown literally. Like right now, Africans are really so much tapped into information, history, and I believe actually it is really, really beautiful too, Samuel. And just saying, yes, Nigerians are swimming in sewers. That is what they do. They are diving there. You know, that's the water they're probably using to shower and all that. It's just super crazy. That is the means of transport, going to school, going to work. You're using a boat.
In that region where people are swimming in sewers, they don't even have schools.
Yeah.
They don't go to schools.
Yeah, chai. But anyway, we shall continue from there. Moving on, let's talk about DRC, the UN. We are seeing actually 8 UN peacekeepers have been arrested in DRC Congo for sexual exploitation.
Yeah.
And one officer has been suspended. And before I even get to read the article personally, are you surprised?
I read the article yesterday, so I think there's no need of repeating it. But I'm not even surprised because for how long have we been talking about this? I'm not surprised because Joby, I was even giving an example of like the UN. The UN, we have the UN backed up mission right here in the 254 where the Haitians or the Kenyan soldiers are supposed to be deployed in Haiti. That is a UN backed mission. So tell me, how is that peacekeeping? You're telling black people to go and invade in another black people's country. So how is that peacekeeping?
It's not.
But anyway,
it's not.
Anyway, on that, wasn't still in Congo where the UN were being told to kick rocks and get out.
But they were
pack
told
your
by the
bags
president.
and go.
Yeah, Katty told them that, and actually to just sort of back this, if you read the article, no need to repeat it. You discussed it yesterday.
Yeah, I discussed it.
So personally, I'm not surprised, and to compare, this is the same situation I discussed some time back about Ethiopia. Ethiopia last week, they complained of how UN they have not been, actually for the longest time since last year. When I first saw Ethiopia complain of UN not keeping any peace, they don't need any more aid because their women are being raped and all that, sexual assault and all that. And still we saw the same government complaining, signing deals with the EU. You complain about the UN, but you're signing deals with the EU. You know,
I see.
You're taking funds and money for what?
But you know, I think anyway, I don't think they don't understand. But at some point, I just want to ignore. These people don't understand what is happening because Joby,
the presidents do.
They do. This is why I'm saying I just want to ignore. You know, sometimes I'm always asking myself. So you're talking about the UN being the worst in your country, and then you're going to the EU. And these people are the same people who formed the UN.
Same organization.
The same organizations. So how different do you want these people to act?
Crazy.
Yeah? How do you want to act? How different do you expect them to act? They are the same people. They are the same people being controlled by the same bosses. Their agenda is the same in Africa. So how different do you want them to act?
Well, Katty, you should do better. Well, I believe arresting or them being arrested, it's not enough. If you are African, if it was an African man found sexually assaulting Chinese Indians, baby, you be dead. You be gone. Your neck found somewhere, especially, not even, let's not move far. We're moving way too far. Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Just do that.
Try their women. Just even try.
Arabic nations.
Try their women.
And sometimes I just love the Arabic constitution. I don't know about their constitution that much, but I just love it. I admire how they live here, the strictness in their countries, because look at a country or a continent like Africa. We are always heavy on our laws and regulations, but how do we implicate on them? How do we apply? We don't.
We're not serious.
We're not serious on them. Look at the Saudi Arabians. Just go and wear a rainbow flag even on your app.
Try.
Just let anybody of like the Islamists
you die like that journalist, like that.
You'll die and everybody will be told you died. He died.
Mysterious death.
Katty died while she was sitting down.
A mysterious death.
Yeah, it was a mysterious death.
You know, African people, man, we need to do better. The problem, again, like I've said, the theme of this week for me, it has been African people, we are the problem. We've watched this disrespect on and on and on. Actually, we are the problem because we're the ones seeking help. When we're seeking the aid, the whatever assistance from these people, and I was trying to give an example with I think it's still DRC Congo. They said sijui kutoka lini wamekuwa wakiobserve, wameona iti there is no any peace that has been maintained in the country and all that, and now it's time for them to pack their bags and leave. And I'm like, it's been I don't know how many period of years. Why didn't you even observe in the first month? 1 month is enough for you to see if I am doing better. 1 month of observation of my work should actually give me a go-ahead of now I give you the territory to protect. 1 month. I don't care about a month. I should see at least a positive impact being impacted on the situation that is affecting majority of my people.
But what do you expect, Joby?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
This is
we are
a
the
union.
problem. We are the problem because I understand how Congolese and the situation that has been going on in Congo, but this running away situation won't help. You're supposed to stick there and say and demonstrate and let them kill you, man. We're so many.
Imagine.
Do it like just sit down and
Let me
demonstrate
tell you
peacefully.
something, Joby. Do you know that I feel like once I talk about the UN, I just think of the UN like the juntas. They are just like the juntas, the jihadists, and
They are
the terrorists.
They are the terrorists. I mean.
Because they are just here in Africa to guard the interests of the
Of
Europeans. They are just here to make sure that the operations the Europeans want to do in Africa are just continuing in the name of aid. We have so many lorries coming from the UN.
Yep.
We don't know what they go out with. They come here in the name of we're bringing aid. And the aid is always maize. The aid is always maize. I'm even wondering, so Africans, we only eat maize for survival?
We are the problem. We are the problem. You're not telling me otherwise right now, Africans. We are the problem. We are the majority. Every time we're demonstrating, again, note, this opposition, the president, are always protected in heavy.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, no, Jesus, knock, knock, Jesus. I see.
Hallelujah.
Amen, man.
Jesus is in the building.
He's on TikTok. But anyway, we move on, yeah? So I'm saying that I even got to be confused, Manze. Come on.
Shout out to Jesus.
Basically, what I'm going to say is that we need to do better with the majority, and when you're demanding for help, we are the ones crying. And if you see whichever method we're being given is not working, we should be able to stand up and raise up with a very high note and tone. It's our tone that matters. Stand up and say, yo, no more of oppression, no more of this dictatorship. We need another form, another solution that's gonna favor us. The UN is not working. Let them get out. We as the people, we demanding. Let them get out. That is what basically should happen. But because of how we choose to stick into situations of let's Ruto do it, man, these people are here to pocket money.
It was yesterday I was reading some article. It was still in Congo, in the Goma IDP or refugees camp.
Yeah.
So there was this article was talking about it's either you get raped, it's either you sell your body,
about
prostitution,
about the cost of living.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is in the IDP camps,
Yeah,
the refugee camps.
Yeah.
So it's either you get raped, it's either you sell your body, or it's either you starve to death.
The choice is yours.
The choice is yours.
Imagine, and you're in a actually the richest country
in Africa
in terms of mineral resources.
So I was reading some stories right there. We were talking about, I was reading a story where there's this girl who is just 14. This girl who is 14 was left with her siblings, and she has to make sure that her siblings eat. She goes out to fetch firewood so that she sells in the camps for people to buy, so that she gets to feed the young ones. So yeah, the siblings. So what she encounters out there is very harsh, to a point that she cannot even bring back food. She's getting raped, by not more than one person, no more than two people, no more than three people,
No.
and these people belongs to the UN,
No justice.
and no justice will be served.
So sad. The problem is the people, is the puppets that we call men. You know, they have failed to protect their women. They have failed to protect their families, their communities. They are failures.
But do you think they care about that?
They don't, of course.
Of course.
This is what we're saying. They're weak puppets. Let's call them weak.
They are just okay. They are weak on us, but I think they protect their families because you'll never see Ruto exposing her daughter to even criticism. You remember when his daughter was being criticized of having the first daughter's office. Ruto came out and spoke about it, and he said, "No, we don't have this office. She just decided, you know."
Propaganda.
He defended the daughter.
Propaganda.
They just defend their families. They just guard their families. But when it comes to the interests of Kenyans, you guys, you can kick rocks.
Propaganda. But as we move on, kindly go through the comments as we move on to the next story about Kenya court lifting the log banning.
Okay, I see you. I'm trying to see where I left it. Okay, I see. Kid is saying the people aren't corrupt. The government is and set up by the Europeans. Very true. As Sage is saying, we are not waiting for the mvua. We are waiting for how the government will handle it. Very true. And also, I see Kid is saying exactly 100%. Just imagine Nigeria has the biggest economy in Africa, and people are swimming in those dirty sewages. But I see Kid is also saying, why is the United Nations is only in Africa but not in Europe, the United States or Asia, just Africa? And also Lieutenant Colonel is saying usichokijua kitakuramba pia wewe. And also I see Mr. Black
Katie.
Mr. Black and White is saying exactly 100% Joby. You'll be dead for sure. Very true.
Yeah.
And also Chris is saying Saudi Arabia not using freedom to wear rainbow bracelets isn't a good thing. And also Kid is saying, yes Joby, you are. That's why you and Katie were given respect in Tanzania, because you demanded it. Very true.
Good.
And there's Jesus in the building. I'm not going to read all about Jesus.
Nah.
And at least you know he's present and he's guarding you and he's watching over you. So President Ruto won't come for you.
Yes,
and
yes.
Mr. Blackatwa is saying exactly 100% Katie. The terrorist groups are created and funded by the Europeans to steal from Africa.
True.
Chris is saying Kenya is one of the most progressive and democratic countries in Africa, and that's good. Oh my God!
Democratic.
What do you mean? We don't even practice a single bit of democracy in Kenya. What do you mean, Chris?
Democratic.
Chris,
You
are
love
you
that.
in Kenya? Have you lived in Kenya? We don't understand even what democracy is. And if you compare mob justice and democracy, I think mob justice serves very well than democracy in the 254.
Democracy is what is going on in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali so far. The rest are banana state countries. That is what we should call them.
Yes, and I see Kid is saying if you get rid of all NGO, the United Nations, Africa could finally develop and succeed. But the Europeans will never let Africa go without a fight. Very true. And also Chris is saying yes, Africa needs to become less dependent on charity and NGOs. Very true. And also Kid is saying Joby, make sure Danny edits this show so we can share it everywhere.
Yeah, I'll make sure of that. Of course, noted, because it's on YouTube and on Mivo, so that shall be done. I also see Samuel says it's running water. It's running water that had to put in for people. Damn, Samuel, what are you talking about?
You're talking about running water?
Yeah.
We still don't have electricity in some parts of the 254.
Man, remember in Riru, I've seen people in Riru that are demonstrating because of lacking electricity for 3 weeks. 3 weeks with no electricity, and you're in the city of your country.
Imagine.
City. Not even anywhere else.
I was even talking about this job. You remember when I was saying my brother's house burned?
Yeah.
They didn't have electricity for more than 3 days, and then when electricity came back, it came with a lot of power. It burnt everything into ashes.
So sad.
And you can't go and report. There's nothing to
Man, imagine the funny thing, you can't blame them.
You can't blame them. You won't go and report. They'll tell you it was not my fault.
Yes, Samuel, 3 weeks. They were demonstrating I think it was during this week because of them not having electricity for about 3 weeks, which is super crazy. But anyway, as we move on, those are the problems we're tackling with as Africans, and then you tell me we're not living the same. In Kenya still, the Kenyan government, as the Kenyan Environmental Court, has lifted has held the lifting of logging ban, and this is what they're saying, that the Nairobi court on Thursday, that was yesterday, suspended Kenyan President William Ruto's decision to allow logging to resume in the state forest after more than 5-year ban. It was put in place by the previous government in 2018 in a bid to stop illegal logging and raise Kenya free tree cover to 10%. But in July, Ruto lifted the ban, saying this would create jobs.
And you know, the saddest part of this is that
cutting down trees, Annie. What? Do you know how dumb?
No, logging is actually selling off the, you know, their logs. Logs, the remaining parts after you cut the tree. So, yesterday, I was talking about this early today in the Vibe Show, and we had 23 police, forestry police that was removed. They were sacked from the government payroll. Reason being, they have been selling the logs. And I was like,
agreed.
The government, President Ruto, I can even pull up a video of Ruto allowing logging.
I reported it too.
You reported it, right?
Yeah.
The president okayed logging. Right now, you're sacking officials just because of selling the logs of which you allowed. And he said that those people should be removed from the payroll.
Wow.
He said that. Yes, it is on the news sites. He said that. And I'm like, okay, so what do you mean by logging? What do you understand by logging as a president? Because you came to us, you told us, I am allowing this to create job opportunities and to allow entrepreneurs to continue with their activities. If it's charcoal burning, go on with it.
One, this is not a way of creating job opportunities. It's a lie. Africans, again, we are the problem. You have a PhD, master's degree, then you go do a logging job as a way of a job opportunity given by your president. And he's coming to arrest you even after him agreeing. Do you know how funny this sounds and dumb? I understand why the Mzungu would be laughing right now and why they laugh at Africans. Because when you read what these puppets say, and it's just crazy and it's funny. Trust me, it is funny. But they said in July, Ruto lifted the ban, saying that this would create job opportunities and develop sectors of the economy that depend on forest production. Develop sectors of economy. By taking debts, that is how we've been developing the sector of economy. You know, it has never been by planting trees, which should be the #1 agenda. They're saying, however, the Environment and the Land Court on Thursday ruled that the measure was null and void due to a lack of public debate on the issue. Of course, the Kenyans were not involved and always were never involved in anything. The decision that do run actually, and the decision making in Africa is always run by the state puppets, the United States puppets, and the puppets in Africa. After our Washaenda, the UN meeting, the UN assembly, whatever, that is when they come back and deal.
I've remembered something. Yesterday, I happened to listen to the Citizen News. So, these people, the 23 that are supposed to be sacked from the government's payroll, they were also accused of selling indigenous trees.
Wow.
So, Joby,
the indigenous trees, baobab.
Who have been exporting those trees?
Ruto.
So
by people who are working under him.
We have been seeing those trees being carried by planes being exported, and I'm wondering how is this concerning these people? And then you're accusing these people. These people are just innocent, or maybe they are just corrupt, but you facilitate it. they're just a little bit corrupt. If
So
they are
sad.
corrupt,
So sad, I tell
this
you.
doesn't qualify them to lose their jobs because you started it. You allowed it. Especially logging. That doesn't make sense for me.
Truly.
Hmm?
Shouldn't. And it shouldn't. But still in Kenya, the court has dismissed the challenge over genetically modified crops.
Oh.
And I think I shared that the screenshot of it yesterday
We're
on the
all
WhatsApp
candidates
chat.
of death.
They're saying that the Kenyan court rejected a complaint by Lawyers Association challenging the authorities' decision to authorize the cultivation and import of genetically modified organisms in response to the country's severe drought. Just after coming to power, President William Ruto's government authorized. We are the government, but we didn't authorize. The puppets authorized. The government authorized the imports and cultivation of GMOs banned since 2012 in October 2022. The Law Society in Kenya, a professional association of lawyers, had challenged the decision, arguing that it was unconstitutional and raised concerns about the crop safety. But Oscar Angote, a judge at the Environmental Court in the Kenyan capital in Nairobi, ruled that there were no evidence to show any harm to nature or human health from the cultivation and import of GMO. And he says, as a country, we need to trust the institution we have in place and call them to order when they break the law. They've already broken the law. He says, we need to be sure that our health is in good hands. Kenya has banned the cultivation of GMOs, in particular to protect small farms, which makes up the majority of the country's population. The country, the economy powerhouse of East Africa, was criticized after taking this decision, and notably by the United States, a major producer of GMOs. Activists and agriculture pressure groups had denounced the authorities in 2022 decision, claiming that this was hasty and threatened the livelihood of small farmers. They called the ban to be reinstated, and Kenya is experiencing a drought expenditure intensity for 40 years. Agriculture is the main contributor to Kenya's economy, accounting for the 21% GDP in 2022, according to authorities. A former Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Ruto, has promised to vitalize this sector. That is the article of what is going on in Kenya.
Crazy.
So,
but we are all candidates of death.
I mean, that was Moses Kuria.
Aren't we?
He lost his job. After calling us candidates of,
he didn't lose his job. He was reshuffled.
He was in
He was put in a different place.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So this is wrong. So what basically we're being told by our authorities is that we should die. You know, we're talking about Agenda 2030.
I mean,
Ruto
Joby,
has allowed.
your government means there's nothing wrong with you dying. What do you
Agenda
mean?
2030 is on agenda. Trust you me. We have the Climate Africa Summit held in Kenya. We have allowed genetically modified food. We have allowed homosexuality. What else? What else? What's next?
I mean, we are only willing to die.
What is next? This is wrong. I hope the activists who demonstrated by that time, actually the whole nation should be demonstrating. But apparently it is sad. Africans believe we are actually facing hunger issues while we are in a 65% arable land. A continent, a whole continent. That aside, we have people celebrating. I wish I can share this video again. I remember I was sharing this with the family some time back, and everyone was just laughing. What Kenyans think about
Yesterday there was a video I shared on TikTok. Mzungu, marry me. Marry me, Mzungu. This was a Kenyan woman begging a Mzungu, old man, to marry her.
What? Like what Kenyans think about getting food from Russia. So I shared this some time back, and we saw people having different reactions, and most of them were actually astonishing. You know, what wanasema it's okay us getting food from Russia because actually Russia can feed the whole world. That is what one of the Kenyans said.
Lord.
Russia can feed the whole world.
Are you sure about that?
Kenyans do say okay. Let me see. Let me see. Let's see this if they're gonna be any
Foreign Affairs Minister at State House. Now the Russian government has gifted Kenya 34,000 tons of fertilizer in its raw form. The
This was 4 months ago.
fertilizer arrived today at the port city of Mombasa and was
Raw fertilizer from Russia. I can understand Russia actually did ban genetically modified food.
And
But
this
this also recent.
Yeah, let me tell you, Joby, they banned it in their country. They banned the consumption.
Yeah.
But this doesn't mean they banned the production.
Exactly.
The production is still going
Going
on,
on.
and the production of the products is what we are consuming as African people.
Mm-hmm.
So they banned the consumption in their country,
Mm-hmm.
but the production is still going on, and that is what is meant for African people. So if you're there as an African person and you think that you're not eating GMO, we are already eating these things.
We are subject.
Yeah.
We are subjected to death. That's it.
received by the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Mithika Minturi. Our own Tobias Chanji was there.
While receiving the donation that comprises potash, urea and NPK, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithika Linturi said the processed fertilizer will not be sold beyond 3,500 shillings per bag.
That the 4,000 metric tons that we have received,
That's expensive. What? That 3,000. That is $30.
Do you know what it takes to just make our own fertilizer?
Damn.
Do you know what it takes?
Poop.
Oh my god.
Chicken poop, cow poop.
Even this, the fertilizers now they are bringing to us, the chemically produced fertilizers, we can just make them naturally. Do you know that? You know, I was talking about, yesterday we were talking about the science fair and everything, but in Kenya that has been taken lightly. This is why we should be getting students who are doing these things, because I've seen people making fertilizers in the science fair, but they never go far. They don't go far. They don't. Because the government wants to undermine their activities, because they don't want people producing their own things in Africa. And this is the government, which should be shameful, because I bet you as the government, you should be proud of me if I'm able to make something that is beneficial to our country. But now you get to undermine my activities for me not to be able to bring something that is beneficial to my country and my people. Shame on you.
Period. Shame on you. I'm trying to find the right video, but I can't find that video right now. It was really, really funny. You know, here in Kenya and say that, you know, Russia can feed the rest of the world, the whole world. We need, of course, support of, you know, food, since we're facing hunger and all that. It's crazy, and the fact that people do not understand that right now the climate control has been taken over way long time ago, and this is why we're facing this kind of calamities. We never used to experience this kind of issues until we said no to independency. You know, we said the white man knows better, and he showed us better. You know, that is what he's doing.
And it's so crazy, because do you know what you just need to make natural fertilizer? You just need decaying components, decaying food.
True.
You just go and throw it on the land, and then the land is so.
Imagine we used to do that. Maybe
Yeah.
remember in our village where I grew up, I used to love planting
Onions.
not onions, tomatoes, because I love eating raw tomatoes every time. So every time I could, like, there's a season of kupanda ngenda nipande. So wile majogali, the makulio, I used to go and throw them there, like the fertilizer,
and then it decays.
Exactly. So my tomatoes could grow up, like, you know, in 2-3 weeks. Actually, it takes a very short time for tomatoes to grow.
I used to plant strawberries before I got to the Blackout Fire Network, and they were actually doing well. I just use natural fertilizers, or maybe I just use plants. You see plants, you just, maybe we have weeds. You see weeds, you just weed them.
Cultivate
and then
them.
when you weed them, you just put it on top. Make sure that they will not grow again. Just put them on top. They'll just decay. And you know, that's manure. That's manure. That is natural fertilizer.
Apparently, people don't know that.
You don't know. Hey, and then I feel so bad when I see people banning even this these plants like the weeds, they used to burn the weeds in the farm, and I'm like, do you know now you're destroying your land when you think you're killing the weeds?
Yeah.
You're destroying your farm, because the moment you get to burn the weeds on the land, you're killing the microorganisms that facilitates in the growth of your crops. So you just need to throw them and make sure now you cut the roots. You make sure that they won't grow again.
Africans, it's so sad to see that they have lost the culture. When we're celebrating culture, and this is why personally I said we don't have a culture as Africans. We've for long been embracing the white man's culture, and this is why you see we've lost actually the simplest ways. We've lost track of the simplest ways of living and surviving, because we've so much dwelt and kept our thoughts on our oppressors without knowing. Actually, we've been practicing our oppressors laws, whatever they bring, we embrace it. It's so sad to see when we're discussing about there's a video I always love referring to it, when I was sharing about the genetically modified mosquitoes. I saw among all this, why Bill Gates is bringing the genetically modified fertilizers and all this, white people are now teaching Africans how to plant. It is so sad to see an African. Can you imagine? Shame, man. A white man teaching you how to hold an axe or a djembe. It is, or even a rack. Do you know how crazy it sounds?
Shame on you.
African. Aye, man, tell me something different. Tell me something different. But I see Joe Mosquito, karibu sana once again. Hope you're doing amazing. And of course, welcome to today's show. This is the Pan-African Diary. In case you're wondering, we'll be doing this every Friday. Katie and I have decided to combine our show, and it will be for 2 hours. And I think you're an hour late, but anyway, karibu sana. We move on regardless. But Katie, any news and updates you have as well?
Yes, of course. And this is about South Africa, and we have been complaining about South Africa a lot. And regarding to the energy crisis or the power crisis, we have been seeing power cuts in the longest time in South Africa. And the worst part is that this happens to the racially segregated area where our black people lives. But right now I'm seeing that South Africa has uncovered coal smuggling ring in South Africa, and this is something that is very good, but also it is not something that we should celebrate yet, because it is uncovered. But do we know that these people have been arrested, that the ones that are involved? So it is something that has been uncovered, but we're not supposed to celebrate yet.
A white man's land. We're talking about South Africa. There's xenophobic, there's white people being racist, white people wearing black faces, and
there's
saying,
still apartheid being practiced, racial segregation.
Exactly. There's a lot going on in South Africa, and it is sad to see Ramaphosa Mandela. Here, Mandela, the most celebrated, literally, president, I think, everywhere in Africa. I remember even us in school, like, you could hear Mandela, you're like, hey, you're so, exactly, it was,
I told somebody about Nelson Mandela, and they were like, you don't know what you're talking about, and then I had to shut up because I didn't want to talk much.
You can't reason.
I was in public, and then no, I don't. I really have to shut my mouth because I'm becoming loud.
you look like
I'm looking like I'm the fool, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, they look at me like this. What are you talking
Especially
about?
if they're the majority.
Yeah. I told them, do you know Nelson Mandela and did this and this? They were like, you don't know what you're talking about. And then I had to shut up.
It's because of the image the mainstream media displayed with so much positivity about him, but we didn't know much of what we've discovered so far about him, and him being a puppet as well, and a sellout of South Africans and the country as well. But what I'm saying on this, of course, I agree with you. We're not sure if the people who are behind this are going to be arrested. That is number one. Because again, majority of the South Africans understand actually it's a country invaded by white people, and we know and see how our people have been living in oppression. But it's, I don't know if you saw that video that was circulating online of white people wearing black faces, claiming they're being discriminated. It was from 2012, but it has been surfacing lately. Yeah,
wearing black faces.
Yeah, like they painted their face black, saying they're being discriminated by black people in South Africa. Which I know,
funny,
it's crazy, but I'm not surprised. I mean, this is happening in every African country. Talk about the illegal crude oil in Nigeria. Talk about the gold smuggling in different African countries participated by the same puppets. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, but I have an article of which I shall be reading for you. And the South African authorities say they have uncovered a coal smuggling syndicate that has played a major role in exacerbating the country's energy crisis. The South African Revenue Services led what was described as a Caesar operation across 5 provinces where the smugglers are active: Gauteng, Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal, and Free State and Limpopo. Yes, and the suspects include former employees of the state-owned electricity firm, that is Eskom. A state said the scam involved high-grade coal being sold off and replaced with a low-grade product, which has been damaging power stations. The issue of coal theft has been reported in South Africa's media for several years, and it is widely felt that high-level corruption long prevented by any action being taken to stop the scam. Okay, my question is, who has been facilitating all this? Because, Joby, electricity is not something that you can go and take like this and take home like this. You know, we're talking about energy. We are talking about watts and kilowatts and megawatts. It is not something you can take like this and take home hiding. So, if you talk about Eskom workers, it means that even the person who is the head of the Eskom is responsible for that.
Yep.
Because there's no way this would be stolen and also being replaced. You know, it's something that means that it involves wires.
If Africa was really serious in terms of when it comes to dealing with the matters, corruption, we should always stress. And then a watchman. Start with the watchman.
Yeah.
Start with the gateman. The gateman is going to direct you to the office. From the office, actually it's just a matter of, it's all a connection. It's like a dot you just need to connect. And you'll find the main oppressor, who's giving the order, who's doing what and what. If really actually they're serious about this matter, we should see action. The accused should already be
But
in jail.
Joby, this doesn't make sense to me, because I'm saying there's nowhere even in this studio I would come and steal something that is not tangible and you wouldn't know. Like, Joby, tell me, how would I take this cable from here and you wouldn't know the cable has been stolen?
I'll notice.
Or maybe I stole this cable and replaced it with something else. Won't you notice?
I will notice.
Of course, because now if I take this cable and you tell me you didn't notice, you facilitated me stealing this cable.
Yep.
Because you saw the cable was different. You saw it. So this doesn't make sense to me. Those Eskom managers and everybody who is the head of that department should be fired immediately. Because what are you talking about? Stealing energy and bringing low energy. You steal the high energy and bring the low energy. You know, this is an exchange of electricity. Do you guys understand what this means? It means that you have to install new cables that brings the low energy, and you have to install the new cables that transfer the legit energy to the place you want. So this doesn't make sense to me. You're talking about corruption like that? No, you are the corrupt one. Even the person who is reporting this sounds insane because you sound insane, because this doesn't mean that
he's also corrupt.
You even doing your work very well, because you should be knowing how was this cable taken from here and the people who are in charge didn't notice.
Well, let's call it I want to give it I'm trying to find a name actually behind it, but all that is propaganda. The news itself, the reporter, the reportee, the accused, It's all because nothing is going to, whatever
There's nothing going to be done because we've seen even the president saying we're going to replace the coal power plants. And remember, you know, the problem is, I remember there was this time when we had 12 hours power cuts. They came and told us that the coal power plants are so old.
Wow.
You remember? Yes, they said they were too old, but right now they are saying that there's somebody who has been stealing power from one now the high power and replacing it with the low power. It's still power. I mean, it doesn't make people lose 12 hours of electricity, so it doesn't make sense to me.
Because South Africa is corrupt. That's just how simple we put it.
And this is what makes yes, South Africa is
It
corrupt.
is actually very corrupt.
Very corrupt.
Very corrupt.
One of the biggest corrupt nations in Africa. But you know why? It's because they are living under the rules of Mzungu.
4 countries are very corrupt in Africa: South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya. Then now go to Uganda. Go to Uganda. I think Uganda is the next one. Man, it's crazy. But anyway, power to the majority, who is us. It's us to take back the power. Power to the majority. We're waiting for white people to literally give us power, especially in South Africa. You're crazy, man. You need to wake up. You need to wake up and take back your country. You need, Ramaphosa should literally be overthrown. Julius Malema is not doing anything. He's just another propagandist, if there's such a term, you know. But anyway,
it is so crazy. I feel
insane.
so sad for South Africans because at the end of the day, they are the ones suffering from this. You know, they even don't understand what is happening. They are being told the coal plants are so old, we need to replace them with new, of which buying a new coal plant is so expensive that we cannot afford as a country. And I'm wondering, for all those times or for all those days, you have the Europeans who claims to be very rich. You know, they claim to be very rich, but you cannot afford to buy a power plant. But anyway,
power to the people. Power to the people. Go to the comments on TikTok as we move on. Jomo Scrito, I see you saying that this is a 2-hour show. Since you are combining, yes, it is a 2-hour show, and of course we shall be doing this every single Friday. Today we were supposed to be on the network, but I'm glad we're still doing it on YouTube. And for those who shall be catching on a replay, we hope you can give us your sentiments, your thoughts on all those 4 topics we've discussed so far. And you're saying, yes, we get it, Katie. Energy. That is what's up.
But I see Kid is saying exactly 100% Joby, banana republics. Yes, Africans are banana republics. But I see Kid is also saying, but tell your brother Katie, he lives in a progressive democracy. That's insane. He wouldn't even try and understand that. But anyway, Kid is also saying exactly 100% Katie. He's covering his own ass. Thank you, Ruto. Kid is also saying exactly 100% Joby. It's unconstitutional because it didn't go through the parliament, the president. Through the parliament.
Yep.
And the president doesn't get to make that decision for the country alone. Very true. But remember, the president is the president. You don't get to
His
say no to
Excellency.
the
Excellency.
Yeah, to the excellency, to your honorable president.
Manzi.
But yes, Kid is saying exactly 100% Joby, Agenda 2030. And also Kid is saying exactly nobody should be ever starving in Africa. Very true. Kid is also saying Africa can feed the whole world 100%. And he's also saying exactly 100% Joby and Katie, they banned it, but Russia isn't making GMO foods. Very true. And I see Kid is saying you can make natural fertilizers, Katie, just like your brother did. Very true. And also he's saying exactly 100% Katie, the Europeans stop African people from doing what you're saying because they must. And money off of you and you not being independent. Exactly, Katie, that's how you make it. And Kid is saying make sure you keep that knowledge, ladies, and pass it because it is so true. Yes, we shall and we will and we shall be doing that every time. And also Katty is saying, Katty, Kenya has all types of Africans in Kenya, but don't act like South Africa. Exactly. Kenya is not xenophobic. I've never seen where a Kenyan is saying, you know, I'm xenophobic, I don't want to see my fellow African brother. We've never been xenophobic.
We love new people, actually.
Yeah.
Ask our women going to Nigerian men.
And pretending to have the Nigerian accent.
Wakisha watakonza hiyo accent washike. They're working on toes.
Our part.
Unaangaliwa sijui aje. Oga. Crazy.
But Katty saying Kenya has Tanzanian, Ugandan, Congolese, Zambians, Ethiopian, Central African Republicans. I mean, Kenya has all nationalities, and we're not xenophobic. But
even Tanzania, I'll say even Tanzania. We think we saw many people there, and it's not like that. Because kama they can tolerate, lakini wazungu ni watu wa tolerate though.
Yeah, and Katty is saying so many Kenyan, Katty, but Kenyan don't practice the xenophobia as South Africa. Yes, they don't. We don't. And also Katty is saying they cut the coal power plants down, Katty, to put goofy windmills and solar panels in and it can't. Yes, South Africa is very corrupt. Yes, South Africa is very corrupt, and this is what is leading to South Africa being very so bad for African people. And to a point that African people are thinking that now their fellow African people in South Africa are bringing the problems. It's very bad, because this is a thing that was brought by the Europeans in the country. Because Joby, you wouldn't tell me you weren't employed before I came to your country. I'm able to start up a business in your country, but now you come and claim that I'm the reason you are unemployed. But you are not employed before even I got here.
You are your own failure.
You are your own failure. You failed by yourself. I didn't promote you to being a failure.
Period.
I wasn't the reason you were unemployed.
Yep.
And I'm still not the reason you are unemployed. You should blame your government, not me. And you should blame the invaders of your countries.
And blame yourself for not having brains, you know. But anyway, as we move on, we move to Gabon a little bit. And of course, we had last week, actually 6 days ago, we had the sister of ousted President Ali Bongo. She's supposed to face trial in France. And
why is the trial in France first?
So this is what they said. Pascaline Bongo, the sister of Gabon's deposed president Ali Bongo, will reportedly face trial in France in January 2024 on suspension of corruption.
I saw even the wife was
that is where we headed.
Arrested.
She is accused of facilitating public contracts in Gabon between 2010 and 2011 for the French construction firm Elgis Route for promised reward of 8 million euros. Pascaline Bongo, who served at her late father Omar Bongo as chief or staff, denies the allegations. So it's been a family business, you know, from the father to the brother. Any imenza tu kitambo. Now we have the cousin is now the president.
It's something hereditary.
Exactly. And that's what happened actually in Africa. Basically, that's what happens. If it's not a friend, a family friend, like we see Ruto, Moi, Uhuru, the father, is just crazy with Africa. As this happens, we have the wife who has been jailed of Ali Bongo, and they're saying that the wife of ousted president, the ousted Gabonese president Ali Bongo, was jailed late on Wednesday. A lawyer gave the information as she faces charges of money laundering, forgery, and falsification of records. Sylvia Bongo Ondimba Valentin had been under house arrest since August coup, which ended nearly 60 years ago. 60 years of rule, by the Bongo dynasty. It has not ended, so stop lying. On the streets of Gabonese capital, there was positive reaction by some of the news that she is in prison. So people are happy about this. The sister is supposed to face trial in France, which is so wrong. And this is where you question yourself. Actually,
you're Gabonese, but you're going to be tried in France.
Manze,
that doesn't sound right for me, because there is no justice that is going to be served up for me there. And why? You know, you wronged me in Gabon. You stole from me when I was in Gabon and you are in Gabon. So why are you going to be tried in France?
This one is just
Because the French government is involved.
Exactly.
And the French government wants to rescue this woman.
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I saw the woman, the wife has been arrested. The wife is the white, senior. Yeah, the wife is white. And this is what happens when an African man marries a white woman. This is what happens all the time because the white blood is always white.
Exactly.
It's always white. They want everything bad for Africans. Not even for yourself. You've married this wife, but she doesn't even want any good for you.
She's stealing diamonds.
She's stealing diamonds for her own benefit, not for you.
Taking to the people.
Yeah.
Like she's like, nigga, when you die, I'm good.
She's taking it to the family log, to her family's log.
You want some white coochie? I'll get it to you. But I'm gonna get. I mean, I can lose the coochie. But I can lose the diamonds. So let me save me some diamonds.
I can keep some wild for my family. You know.
Exactly. Just bust it wide open. But but basically for me, I know that there's no justice that is going to be served correctly to the Gabonese people, because this actually should be favoring the Gabonese people. This should be actually like a relief to the Gabonese people, them feeling that at least something is happening and they really mean. This way you understand that actually the coup that happened is still fake.
It's still fake because let's talk about even this woman. You know, this woman is a French woman.
Yeah.
And the reason they are now taking the sister to the French court is because they want to pave a way for her escape and avoid justice being served on the Gabonese people. Because tell me why this person wronged me in Gabon, but she's being taken care of, or she's being taken in court in French.
It doesn't make sense.
In France.
It is just corruption.
It is corruption. And this tells you this dynasty or these people have been operating with the French for the longest time. They have been facilitating the stealing of the diamonds we have in Gabon. And the other reason the country is so poor. And right now they are working with the France or the French to make sure that they even stay out of these prisons.
Yep.
And we as the Gabonese people, we don't get justice.
They won't be arrested. That's one thing for sure.
Yeah, they are not going to be arrested.
This is just propaganda for
and
the
if
for
they are
the
going
media.
to be arrested, they are going to be kept on houses where they living posh.
On a jet.
Yeah?
On a private jet.
And you know, it's so sad when we're told that president has been arrested and then he's put in a public prison, a private prison. Well, I went to prison and this was so bad.
Dirty.
Dirty. You don't even have a washroom to go to. And then we have a person who has been stealing for the longest time. You're being treated like a killer, yet you have not even murdered anybody.
I think,
but we have presidents who have committed a lot of
murder,
treason, everything. But
they
are being even put in these private prisons. You know, private prisons, what they mean? They are being kept somewhere. Even they are watched their securities on. You know,
they are guarded.
They are guarded.
I think we should not even go far to just actually similarize the situation. Just right here in Kenya, we know our president, the previous president Uhuru Kenyatta. We know the damage he did. 2007 election, we know the effectiveness it did to Kenyans, and still families who are literally questioning up to date for them to face justice. They're still questioning, and they're still in pain because most of the people lost lands, most people lost families, people lost a lot in 2007. I was young, but I still, when you look at the images which are still, shout out to again Boniface Mwangi, I got the opportunity to see the film, which you'll never find because aliyeka tu once na kaitoa. It was like a limited edition type of thing. He was there documenting the 2007 election, and he told us when people were fighting, the Kikuyus and the Luos, Kibaki and Raila were cheersing in Java, drinking tea in the morning. They were there, and he was there. He was like running up and down, filming the situation kwa sababu anatakikana huku, anatakikana huku. it was just super crazy. But I'm trying to say, in all this, and even the previous elections, you've had a number of people who have had to face a consequence of being against or going against or not literally complying with what you're being told to do by these oppressors. But have we seen, after all this, even after seeing Uhuru in the International Criminal Court, them facing trial, have we seen them not being president of the country? I mean, that is just a perfect example. We're talking about just a sister of the ousted president, a wife of the ousted president. But here in Kenya, we're talking about a president, the son of our first president, who's been a president, walking scot-free with murder. You know,
not one. This is a genocide. We're not talking.
And
about
I think they cover this all up by giving them an opposition in the office so that they can look like they serve the country by leaving debts, because that's all they do. Leaving debts. That's the only service you've given to the country. Lots of debts and debts and debts and debts, and you call this development. Shame on even the mainstream medias and the nominators of our roads. You know, the audacity, you even nominating the Kenya Expressway as the best road in East Africa. You're so damn crazy, man. You're so crazy.
But do you think that we had an option in that? Do you think we had a vote in that?
We should have just remained with our Mombasa road. Tulikuwa tu fiti tushazoea jam manzi. Either way hakuna venye watu wana beat traffic in Mombasa road.
No way.
Unless you have money to pay for the express road, you're stuck, man.
I don't have money. That is double my transport. What do you mean I have money to pay for that shit?
Man, it's just crazy. So we should expect nothing but just negativity in these two cases of the sister of the ousted president of Gabon, because nothing is going to happen. They are going to be favored by France. Wherever the trial is gonna go, or whatever jail terms they have on this one, given the jail terms are not even mentioned, you know, they're just saying she's been jailed.
No, she's
just been jailed. But for how many times? We compare with the Angolan TikToker.
They are not even in Gabon. Nobody is sure about what is happening.
Compare with the Angolan TikToker. She was supposed to serve 6 months in prison, but they were like, it's not enough. Baby, you get 2 years for saying your country is not developed. You know? But this one's still in diamonds. There's not even jail terms that are mentioned. That's the funny part. Literally.
Thieves.
She's just jailed. That's all. Super insane.
Thieves. But as we get to continue, let me go through the comments so that we get to the next topic.
Yeah.
And I see, okay, I see who is this? I see Kid is saying, exactly 100%. Why is it in France and not Africa? And that is the question. And also you're saying, of course, they had been stealing from the country and the people, like all these puppets. Very true. And Kid is saying, Joby, this lady has been stealing gold and diamonds out of the country. Very true. Chris is saying, Gabon is too corrupt, so the daughter of the president would never face justice. Even the wife will never, even the sister will never, even the president would never.
You should not expect anything.
Yes, and Katie is saying exactly 100%, Katie. The wife is a French and they want to let her go free. Yes, of course they will, because they're now being telling us that they are going to put her under trial in France. That doesn't make sense while she is a French, you know. And also you saying exactly 100%, Joby, they will get no justice. And also I see Dimaruisa, wewe hiyo comment yako peleka mbali. And I see Kidi saying, yes, Katty and French put them in power and kept them in power. And I see Kid is saying lol, a private nice prison, which is not a prison. Very true. Wakashman is saying we Africans are still under white man government, Kaklas clan. Very true. And I see King MC Wajo is saying hello from Nanyuki. Hello to you too, and thank you very much for joining us. Karibu sana. So as we get to the next topic, this is about Kenya as well, and this is about the story we've been talking about for the longest time. This is about the Kenyan soldiers being deployed in Haiti. And remember, I told you early this week the High Court of Kenya came and said that we are putting temporary
hold.
for our soldiers to be deployed in Haiti. So right now I'm seeing that Kenya has planned advanced Haiti visits before deployment.
Yeah.
And who are going to go for these visits or advanced visits? And let me read what they are saying is that Kenya's interior minister has said that the country will send assessment delegations to Haiti before deploying police officers to address gang violence. And I'm wondering now, what makes you think that these people won't be killed? Assessment delegations. Assessment delegations, you're sending your wise people to Haiti. These people, they are not soldiers, they are not trained people. You know, assessment means assessment means I'm just going to check on the radar. To see kupimi soldiers. So I'm wondering what makes the Kenyan government think that these people won't be killed and won't be returning home. That is my biggest question. But there will be other pre-mission visits to Haiti by different players before our officers set foot there. Interior Minister Kithure Kindiki told a parliamentary committee on Thursday. In August, Kenya sent its first fact-finding mission to Haiti. Mr. Kindiki also said that I didn't know in August they sent.
Me too.
Oh, surprise! We have our soldiers in Haiti that were sent in August. This is a news just coming in.
This is how I tell you, you'll always get information through this mainstream media because they sell themselves
knowing.
out. They sell themselves out just like that.
Yeah, and they say this is the first.
It's fast
fact-finding mission to Haiti.
Yep.
Mr. Kindiki also said that the officers were equipped to take on Haiti's gang as they had been successfully deployed to several countries before, including Namibia, Cambodia, the former Yugoslavia, Bosnia, and Herzegovina, Croatia, and Sierra Leone.
Herzegovina.
Croatia, and Sierra Leone. He added the police officers were part of the Kenyan security forces currently deployed to the Democratic Republic of Congo.
They are not doing
Somalia,
anything.
and South Sudan.
They are not doing anything.
No, they are doing anything. They are guarding the interests of the white people.
God damn
That's
it.
their work. Yeah, that's their work. They are doing everything. Actually, they are doing everything. They are not even doing anything. They are doing everything for the white people. And he also added, he has, however, said that the deployment will happen after passing all legal requirements, including approval by the parliament and the Senate.
They should disagree.
Last week, the UN approved the deployment of Kenyan police officers to Haiti, but a court on Monday temporarily stopped it pending a ruling on whether it is constitutional. Of which it is not constitutional, but it's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
You've heard we have already a bunch of our soldiers.
What are they
in
calling
Haiti.
them? The fast pack, though.
The fast fact soldiers.
The fast pack. The fast pack, you mean? This is crazy. This is super insane. Of course, you discussed it, I discussed it, and this was not going to happen. The money, we should understand the fact that the money has already been pocketed. It's like that game of, you know, because the money has, whatever. Of course, to make us think, suggestions. There's no media is being used to just fuel and gas positive, but how should I call it? The terms disappear in my head. We know which the financial bill. Yeah. Then they came later and said the Supreme Court is against. Now leadership within these puppets. Reaction, problem, reaction, solution. So they already caused because of deploying police, but the solution, you know, that's what it's doing.
It's like we're sending them there for your family, of which is insane because at the end of the day, that money won't take your family forever. It won't take your family forever, and also it doesn't mean that the money is, you can compare the money to the life being lost. Your family will lose a person, a breadwinner probably. And do you think now the officers that are about to be deployed, sometimes I look at things and I just like negative 1%. That is the problem.
They're going to be paid a lot of money too.
They are going to be paid a lot of money, Joby, or risking my life, you know. But at the end of the day, look at the pain you will leave your family. Violence. Not all of them die.
Yep.
You might end up paralyzed. You end up being in pain forever. So what's the need of all this?
It's crazy.
You might end up losing that money to hospital bills. All of it.
Or even in your grave, man. It could be your own grave you're digging. You just paid
So
for your
what's
own
the
death.
need of this?
You just accepted your own death and you've been paid to go face your own death. When you go there, this is why you're going to be offered better money. Man, think a lot. Like what you just said. Think about your life. Why should I go to another country, do this and this and this? Why can't I have it front and center? In the northern part of seek the interest of ourselves, of our countries, before we seek interest of other countries. What we should be doing is literally condemning the United States for using Kenya to go clean up, sweep your
Which
trash.
Ruto are you talking about? Have you forgotten?
Ruto I'm talking about. But as we
He
move on,
wouldn't do that.
as we get closer to winding up, I want to talk about also Burkina Faso, and this is something actually positive. I say it came in earlier, this nuclear power plant in the Western African nation. According to the state-run AIB Terror, had with Russian President Vladimir Putin in July during the Russia-Africa Summit in Moscow. And they say that the MOU of energy and the sidelines of Russia. Personally, this is beautiful to see with the restriction that they have to depend on other people to make us, you know, feel like we're moving better. We do not need any stupid deals having so many nuclear plants around. I don't know why we do not. But this is why we're talking about, been questioning about Russia's interest in Africa, help us fight our enemies who we're trying to chase away from the country. But again, I hope still white, okay?
They're still white people. I think we
just
should,
because it's been nice.
you know what I keep on saying is that African people, or this Burkina, Niger, and the other country, they should be taking advantage of this positively right now, and making sure they are learning how these people operate their country, how these people make their weapons, because these people, so they should be learning from Russia right now. They should be now making sure that they are doing it so fast by the time so that it doesn't become like the same case we have seen with the hands of the Europeans again, because right now Russians, but this doesn't mean any good for Africans, but it is good for them right now, of which it's not coming for free. Of course it's not coming for free, so just make sure whatever they do, how they learn their economy, the same thing. We don't want to see repetition of events.
History. Yeah, exactly. I think Katty has said it all. I don't need to repeat it. And basically that is what should happen. Just to add on it, I think Tara should actually read. Don't be like these puppets. Read what you're signing, because that's where Africa we've tripped. We sign deals, these presidents, just because it's a deal, or, you know, I've introduced this and this. They don't read, okay? And understand majority of them are even dropouts of and drug smugglers like Tinibu, you know, and forged papers and all this. Read the details, the documents you have that you're signing. What is the benefit? What is the added value, or what is literally the interest of Russia, you know, because you have an added value, but what is it that will value Russia? We need to be checking on that. You need to check what is it you're going to be offering back, so we cannot see another UN mission coming to protect, or another Russia military coming to literally put their base here so that they can protect the nuclear plants that they're also offering to us. We should be able, as much as we're being offered this help, which is actually part of development, we should be able to be the ones who are taking control and territory, taking the territory into our hands, guarding these new projects we are investing in our continent. That is what basically I'd say on that. But as we wind up, because we're coming to the end, apparently. I see John Mosquito, no, that is not John Mosquito. Samuel says, hey, did the finance minister in Gabon get executed? Not really. I don't think. Let me see that. Let me check that for you just very quickly, Samuel.
Yes, as Joby is checking that, I see Kid is saying, okay, we have Jeff Kingi is saying hello everyone.
Hi.
Hello to you too. Kid is saying exactly 100% Joby nuclear power plant, which is cheap and effective, which is which the Europeans never wanted, and also you're saying which the Europeans never wanted Africans to have. Also, you're saying that means the power will be throughout the country and the power stays on Joby. And Kid is also saying that Africa has nuclear resources, so why haven't you had nuclear power plants? Tell me why. Because the Europeans don't want us to have them. But also Kid is saying exactly 100%, Katty. That's what you do. You learn their technology and then you defend yourself. Very true. And also you're saying, Katty, you use people to learn, to benefit until you can stand on your feet. Very true. And Kid is also saying all African countries should have had power 50 years ago, Katty. And Joby, why haven't they had it? It's because of the Europeans. But I see Kid is saying, damn, that was a fast 2 hours. Yes, it is. It is just because it was a fun show. But anyway,
it is so fun.
We are coming to the end of our 2-hour show. I hope you have enjoyed our discussions right here. I hope you have enjoyed the political news show in the building. And also, I hope you have enjoyed everything we've talked about. See you on Friday, the same place, same time. And also, hope to get to enjoy the same discussion right here with you.
Kabisa. And I'm trying to see Samuel. I can't see Google is not giving me any details. Actually, they're giving me details of 20, let me get that correctly, 2023 January, because this, I think that might be the previous Gabon foreign minister who died of cardiac arrest. That is in 2023 January. So recently, because we know the Gabon coup was just so recent, that was around in August, or it was in August, yeah, September. So no, there's no information if he has been executed. Asanteni sana for being with us. It has been so dope. You've enjoyed?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I've also enjoyed Manze. I love it, and I hope you guys can tune in every Friday. Minute we shall be coming back with the Rhythm Scoop Show. So kindly come back, and of course keep the fire burning right here on the Black Fire Network radio station. Much love and asanteni sana. In case you've missed this show, also kindly, if you catch it on a replay, subscribe in case you're new on the channel or on the network. Download our app on the Google Play Store. Get to stream with us live every single time. We have great hits on our radio station, and you can be able to listen to us in every discussion over there. And also check us out on the rest of our platform: BitChute, Spotify, Spreaker, Rumble, everywhere. Kamanzi, that's where we are. So much love. See you guys later on the Rhythm Scoop Show, or in a few.
The Black Fire Radio.